Afternoon, everyone. God, you're looking happy crowd. You know, better than off that Jeremy Kyle show. Oh, I can't stand that programme. It's all about people's personal lives. He's not the father of my baby. She slept with my boyfriend while I was pregnant. And as Jeremy always says, well, let's take the all-important lie detector test. You know what? Forget the lie detector test. How about an eye test? Because I won't touch any of them women with a barge pole. Move over, Jeremy Kyle. Have any Who Wants to Be a Millionaire fans in? Would you remember Charles Ingram, the man who coughed his way to £1 million? Well, the producers of Millionaire have said, when he dies, we'll pay for his funeral, but we're not going to pay for his coffin. What else? You know, let's get Britain talking. Yes, let's. You know, why don't we stop all this terrorism? You know, it's not doing the world any good, is it? I mean, did you hear about that terrorist that tried to blow up a bus? He burnt his mouth on the exhaust pipe. You know, I always said years ago when Osama bin Laden was in the caves, they should have got Daniel O'Donnell to stand at one end and Russell Watson to stand at the other and got him to sing. Christ, he'd have come out like that. Right, I've had enough. And what else have we got? These programmes that show talentless people like Big Brother and The X Factor. Come on, think of all the novelty acts it's been over the years. Wagner, Ryland, Jedward. They can't sing for toffee. Literally. I mean, a few years back, do you remember when Jedward did that Celebrity Wedding Planner? I mean, come on, I'd never let them plan my wedding in a million years. But I'd happily plan their funeral anytime. As their coffin was being lowered into the ground, I'll play Bruno Mars, You're Amazing Just the Way You Are. On the subject of funerals and weddings, this boy says to his dad at a wedding, Dad, why is that woman all in white? Well, son, the bride's all in white because she's signalling that it's the happiest day of her life. After a few moments, the boy nervously says, well, Dad, why is that man all in black? And he said, you're catching on, son. I've got this mate of mine, and on quiet nights he likes to run his wedding DVD backwards so he can watch himself walk out the church a free man. Oh, that's not all. I once said to him, hey Dave, look, a dead bird, and he went, where? I remember one time I said to him, hey Dave, look at that dog with one eye. And he went, which one? And only one time, this is the best of all, he won the Guinness World Records. The person said, what world record have you broke? I finished a jigsaw in 12 days. But hang on, that isn't a world record. And he said, yes it is, because it says 3 to 5 years on the box. I mean, one time he was looking at the recipe for angel food cake, and it said beat 12 eggs separately. Well, the neighbours were nice enough to lend him some extra bowls. Thank you.
Jay Sanderson, Jay, before we go there, let's go to Tracy over on the judges' table. Tracy, how are you finding Jay's comic stand-up performance so far?
You're funny. But well done, because it's difficult getting up there and telling jokes. So well done, well done.
Thank you.
Now Jay, do you fancy doing a little bit more for us?
Yeah, definitely.
Right, well look, I'll tell you what, you can do one more set. Are you ready for a bit more Jay, everyone? Yes, it's all yours.
You know, I'm 24 now, and people always saying, you'll be getting married and having kids soon. And it really irritates me when I go to weddings, and old people prod me and they'll be like, it'll be you next, it'll be you next. But they soon packed that in when I started doing the same thing to them at funerals. And And the only trouble is, once you've got married, you then got to put up with the mother-in-law. Remember one time I was in the doctor's surgery. This bloke comes barging in. "Doctor, thank you so much for the treatment, but you're not one of my patients," said the doctor. "I know I'm not, but the mother-in-law is, and we've just got in from the funeral." You there? Did you hear about that man that saw a sign saying "Keep Britain Beautiful"? He went home and shot the mother-in-law. Man receives a phone call. "I'm very sorry, Mr. Jones, but your mother-in-law died while on holiday in America. Do you know if she wished to be buried, cremated or embalmed?" Mr. Jones said, "Better to be safe than sorry, let's go for all three." And what else? You have kids once you've got married, and kids can be so cheeky and naughty. In one time, the teacher asked the class to write about a recent exciting event. And later on, she asked one boy to read his out, and he started off. "Daddy fell down the well last week." "Gosh!" exclaimed the teacher. "Is he all right now?" "I think so," said the boy. "He stopped yelling for help yesterday." Kids say the funniest things. This girl sat on her granddad's lap. She asked, "Granddad, can you make a sound like a frog?" He said, "Why?" Then the girl said, "Well, when Grandma said, when you croak, we're going to Euro Disney." Oh, come on, what a thing to say. What about that time a husband said to his wife, "We should wash your clothes in Slim Fast because it might take a few inches off your bum." Fuming, the wife doesn't let this go. So the following morning, the husband goes to put his underpants on. And he takes them out, he shakes them, and a puff of powder comes out. He storms into the bathroom and says, "Lily, why the hell did you put talcum powder in my underpants?" She chuckled and said, "Frank, that's not talcum powder, that's Miracle Grow." This funeral procession's making its way down the road, with 6 family members carrying it. And on top is a fishing line and a net, and some bait. A keen passerby yells, "Hey, I bet he was a very keen fisherman, wasn't he?" And the response was, "Oh, he still is, he's straight off to the river as soon as we've buried his wife." Husband and wife are arguing. Husband says to the wife, "When you die, I'm going to write on your gravestone, 'Here lies Lily, silent at last.'" And the husband said, and the wife says, "Well, you know what? When you die, I'm going to write on yours, 'Here lies Frank, stiff at last.'" Thank you very much, everyone. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jay Sanderson. Thank you, Jay. I think he suddenly sussed you lot out in the end, didn't he? Yeah. Right, we have one more finalist in the adult competition, so would you put your hands together for Joanne Foster?